This is goodbye to this chapter of our life, Izzy. Yeah, the next place is gonna be great. Just, yeah, a lot smaller, that's right. I can't believe it's already been 2 years that we've been in this apartment. This has hands down been my favorite and nicest apartment that I've ever lived in. In honor of my favorite apartment, I thought we could do one last apartment tour of my very modern high-rise Korean apartment. And it's very luxurious to me because I'm an American and these things are only standard and luxury apartments. But as far as Korean apartments go, it's very normal. Let's go. For our comment of the day, I love this comment. You absolutely nailed it. TSD is all about showcasing real makeovers. This channel is about real people, real challenges, and real makeovers. And for our project spotlight of the week, it looks like somebody's getting started organizing all of their clothing. I love seeing all of your pictures. If you are using any of the TSD methods in your house, be sure to tag me in your Instagram stories at The Suitcase Designer. Usually when I film apartment tours, I like to respect my own privacy and I don't share a lot with you, but since I'm moving, why not share? Right now I'm in the apartment common ground area. Most high-rise apartments are going to have something like this outside. Even inside too, there are different spaces. I'm going to show you some of the things that our apartment complex has. This is one of our common areas. In the summertime, there's usually water in here and chairs here for lounging, but of course it's winter now, so we have a playground over here that parents can actually watch their kids from their house on their security cameras. There's a garden area over here for sitting, reading room, fitness center, indoor golf, senior lounge, and our management offices. We have our indoor covered bike rack. This is our trash room where we recycle everything.
사용자 승인 중입니다.
And usually you can count on there being some type of convenience store like a 7-Eleven or GS25, a hair salon, a nail shop, probably a cafe, and some restaurants. There's even multiple underground parking lots with supercars and electric charging stations. You can also park your Hyundai here. You don't need a supercar.
문을 열었습니다.
And when you put your number in, the elevator will be called for you. This apartment tour is actually part of an ongoing series on the channel, Downsizing for Our Next Move. If you missed the previous 2 episodes, you can catch up here. This is a doorbell where you can see everybody who comes into your house. This is our entryway. I've showed this before. It's very simple, very functional. That is what Korean apartments do so well. They've just thought so well about the functionality of the apartment. When you come in, you have both of your shoe closets, and then down here, this is where all your shoes go. At the end of the day, you can just throw them down there. I always store stuff, like stuff I've been decluttering and selling to people. I just kind of hide it back there, but in reality, the space is always messy with shoes. It's okay, it's what it's there for, and you're not going to track the dirt in the rest of the house because, well, it's also automatic light. Shoes on, shoes off. We also have this storage closet. It's been so nice to have this in this house. Right now it looks like a disaster. Just outside the entryway, we have this little master control panel where you can call the elevator so you don't have to wait in the hallway and you can watch it as it comes up. It tells you the weather. You can also turn the gas off and you can it's like a master switch for the whole house before you're leaving to shut everything down. Okay, you want to show them the bathroom? Okay, let's show them the bathroom. I'm really gonna miss having the second bathroom. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. This is our front bathroom and it has this motion sensor light so you can stumble in there in the middle of the night and it will come on for you. It's amazing, or you can use the switch here. This is a modern Korean wet bath. That's what I'd like to call it, and I explain it a little bit more in the cleaning videos. Bathtub is definitely small if you are a Western size long body. It's gonna be a little short for you. As a really tall person in Korea, it's not really practical for me to shower in here because I always knock my elbow on the tile. So that's why I just took the shower curtain off. It is a little bit shorter, but it still works, and it's been so nice to have. And a lot of these features are pretty standard in modern Korean apartments, like this toilet paper roll area, a splash guard for your outlet, and this apartment was the first one that had this built-in soap dish, which is awesome, but what happens if one of the tenants loses that? And one of my favorite features are these large windows. Korea just does them the best. And look at this, it's so smart. They put a hole there so you could put your cord through, and it makes so much sense. And they also have built-in rods so that your stuff doesn't accidentally fall in the toilet. These mirrors are amazing, and I've never seen any quite like this in other countries. And let's just take a moment to admire how sexy this toilet is on the bottom. And perhaps one of my favorite features of the house is this view from this toilet. This has to be what it's like whenever you go to the bathroom in a penthouse, but for like a fraction of the price. The view is just amazing, and it's absolutely worth keeping the door open. BTW, it's really pretty at night too. So down here we have our 2 extra rooms, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But first, at the end of the hallway, this is the hallway definitely, we have a closet, and in the closet is our washer dryer combo. Yes, it does dry, but it takes about 6 hours, so I don't recommend using it. And that's where the water runs off down the drain, which is just kind of cool to think about because you're in an apartment and where does the water go? Really have enjoyed having that. I'm going to miss having that big machine. This is our office area, and honestly, I'm not really that proud to show this room to you. First, I wanted to show you the light switch. These panels are so cool. You can turn on the floor heating here. Another cool feature is you can turn it on and off the outlet. So if you don't want the power going, you can just turn it off, and it'll tell you how much energy you're consuming in terms of the dollar or wands. I'm embarrassed of this room because we never really got to finish it. To be completely honest, I just never had the money available to put into this space, and that's just life. It happens. So this room just kind of became the whatever room. We store our TV in here, and it really just needed to be a practical space. So it is what it is. Next to it, we have another room. This is our 3rd room. It's a very tiny room, and it just made the most sense for us to leave it empty so that we can dry our clothes and use it for all the things we need to use it for. It does have this nice wall of closets. The other room is lacking closets, so it's nice to have these. But it was just, like I said, better to keep it empty. My husband uses this area as his closet for his clothes. We use the other one for storing any bedding, especially guest linen. No guests this year. And then this is where we store all of our workout stuff. And we do use this as a workout room. So you can see that when you're working out, there's really no room to have any other furniture. So it's a very tight space, especially if you put a bed in here. Once you put a bed in here, that's all that fits. So it was just better for us to leave it empty. I'm showing you that there's not a lot of space and that you can't actually put anything there either because you need the closet to open. So empty space it is. Moving on to the place that we spend most of our time in the house, the living and kitchen area. The kitchen is what I'm going to miss the most, if I can even say. There's a lot of things I'm going to miss, but kitchen is one of them. This bag, by the way, is where Izzy likes to scratch, so we just always throw it under the kitchen table. I love this kitchen, just how modern and streamlined it is. There aren't a lot of knobs on the cabinets except for that one, and I love that about it. It's just so clean and sexy and simple, and it's still relatively small compared to American-sized kitchens, but I love it. And yes, of course, it wouldn't be a Korean apartment if we didn't have any glitter in it. This is how we turn the gas range on and off, which is pretty cool. Or you can use the panel also to turn it off. And it's like one of those smart things. So I did have the security call once when I burnt some popcorn. They called to make sure I was okay. So that's kind of creepy, but it is what it is. The oven has been so nice to have. I don't think it's big enough still to put a American turkey in it for Thanksgiving. We did put a chicken in it though, but it's been really nice to just cook a little bit more. It's still pretty small. There's not a lot of prep space, but it's worked for us. And again, so functional. I love this built-in spice rack that they have, though I wish it kind of extended a little bit further. And this is where our dish pit is. And to be completely honest, because we don't have dishwashers here, our dishes are always stacked up, so I didn't bother doing them for you. But this dish rack, the drying rack, did come with the house, which is pretty cool. And it's just, everything just makes so much sense. It's so nice that this is just standard in their apartments. It's another dish rack that is built in, and they have this TV, which I've never used once. I didn't even realize it swivels. It does some things that I have no idea what it does, but that's cool. To the other side, we have a little bit more storage down here. And I just want to show you, I got this rug out of the giveaway pile downstairs, and I love it. I'm not really going to miss our refrigerator. This is Izzy's toy that we tied to it. I've learned one thing from living in this apartment, that I don't need an American-sized refrigerator. So I won't miss you. This pull-out rice cooker shelf is absolutely incredible, but we use it for our blender and our kettle. Love that. And then having this extra pantry storage has been so nice, especially because we like to cook so much. I've really enjoyed having that. Something I'm definitely going to miss in our very tiny next kitchen. And then this is where the kimchi fridge goes, because that's absolutely a thing in Korea. Most established families here do have a second refrigerator just for kimchi. We don't, though. So we just built a shelf in here to add more storage, and especially for all of our recycling and compost, it's been nice to hide in there. But this kitchen, gosh, I'm going to miss you so much. Oh my God, our next kitchen is so tiny compared to this. And it's been really nice to be able to cook and just have that awesome view, which I'm going to take a moment to show you in just a second. Moving on to the living area. I talked about this a little bit in one of the old living room makeover videos I made, but the views from the sofa in this exact position are absolutely incredible, and it's kind of lacking furniture. I would have loved to have bought more, like a side buffet here, but once I knew that we were moving, I just couldn't justify spending money on it. So I got this mirror, which is very small for this space. It's meant for our next house, so that's why that side of the room is really lacking furniture, but I feel like the decor in this room is the view. That's what is absolutely amazing about it. So we're just going to lean into that. This is our air filtration system, and there's also a security camera up there, and they have this recess in the ceiling where you can add curtains, which is really cool because if you're standing away from it, you don't have to see the top of the curtain rod. And then in these high-rise apartments, there's usually 2 windows here, and that's for multiple reasons that we don't have to talk about now, but you don't have to worry about falling out the window. I feel like this is my penthouse views. It's absolutely amazing. This is Songdo Incheon. If you're wondering, it's a new smart city in Korea. It's not really a city, it's a neighborhood. Those 2 triangles you see out in the distance in the sea, that's actually the bridge to the Incheon airport. So we're very close to the Incheon International Airport, and from the view from the other side, you can actually see some islands out in the sea. Our living room is very minimal because we've been decluttering for our next move. So we just have this DIY sofa combined with our IKEA sofa we've had for years, and that's kind of it. This wall is the tile wall meant for your entertainment center, and there's actually outlets that we're hiding with this picture. I talked more about that again in that living room makeover video from a while back. You also have options for lighting that are all tied to this smart system here. It's just, Korean apartments are just absolutely so incredible. There's so many different weird things you can do with that panel too. We're not going to talk about now, but moving to our master bedroom, it's pretty small for American standards, but I love it. It's just very simple. Izzy, I can't sit down right now. We gotta show everybody our house. Okay. Yeah, baby, I can't lay down right now. And our bedroom hasn't changed at all since filming that free bedroom makeover that I did. It was absolutely free. Even made these lampshades. You should check it out if you haven't already, but we're really limited by what we can do in this space because of the cement walls, because we can't change the wallpaper. So we just rolled with it and did the best we could. And I love the results from this free makeover. It's really just made me happy, and I feel so peaceful in here. It does sometimes feel like a cave because the veranda is right here. So what I like to do, also because we have Izzy's litter boxes out here, is just keep the curtains over that during the daytime. And then we also have the air conditioner unit out here, if you're wondering where those are in big apartments. There's also this like faucet meant for watering your plants, and the drain is back there. Technically, you're supposed to use this room for drying your clothes, but because of the way that we're facing and we don't get direct sunlight, it doesn't really work for us. Our clothes just get moldy before they dry, so we haven't really used it for that. Over here, we have my closet and vanity area. This is also an area of a master bedroom that you will find in most modern Korean apartments, and this still came with the house. This countertop has actually grown on me over the years. Now I'm kind of digging it. I like the moody look. The drawers are, again, just so practical. They're great for organizing, and down here is where I keep my extra toilet paper. But you have this nice little tucked away storage that is just built into the house because Korean apartments are so functional. This is my closet area. I think it's a pretty big closet. I like it. It's kind of like a walk-in closet, but it doesn't really work like that. There is another outlet out here which you can control whether or not there's power being fed to them or not. This is our master bathroom, which is kind of weird because you could see that it's glass, and if you're like a guest coming over, it'd be better if you just shut the door to the bedroom because you can actually see through it, which is kind of weird. Even like being married, I feel like there's just a lack of privacy there. So this is my toilet. This is definitely what I'm gonna miss the most once you go tankless. It's just, the toilet seat is heated. There are about 1,000 different bidet functions, which, to be completely honest, some are just a little weird. Not quite sure. But I love this toilet. I mean, look at that. You can also get the radio, or you can call security if you run out of toilet paper while you're down. This bathroom, a master bathroom, is quite small for American standards, but it's really everything you need it to be. I love it. I love the stand-up shower. It's just very simple and practical. And again, we have this wall-to-wall mirror, which is incredible with all the built-in storage inside. The only thing I don't love about this bathroom is the like glittery tile. It's a bit dramatic for me, but you know, whatever. Before we end the video, I thought that it would be fun to kind of recap some of the places that we've lived, because we definitely have not always lived in the place this nice. So to quickly recap, we started in an A-frame in Wrightwood, California, outside of LA. It was infested with mice and it had a wood burning stove, and it was so cold in the winter time. And then Jackson and I moved to a 2-bedroom, very cute little cabin in the woods. And then after that cabin, we ended up moving to Sorepogu, Incheon. The ceilings were really slanted. Bathroom had a giant washing machine inside. The walls were covered with mold when we first got in there. So that was our first experience in Korea. And then we moved over to our first studio apartment here in Songdo. We slept on the balcony for a year because the apartment was too small to have a bed. And then we moved off-grid to a cabin in the woods in Alaska. There were glaciers outside our windows. There were bears that would actually look in the windows of our cabin. That place was beautiful, but it was on a generator, so we'd only have electricity and hot water for certain hours of the day. And then we moved to Darwin, Australia. We had a lot of flatmates. That living room was infested with those tiny German cockroaches that are Then we moved back to South Korea, another studio apartment, lived on the patio again for a year and a half in a bed that was smaller than a full-size bed, but bigger than a single bed. And then it was after that that we moved here. It's gonna be really hard to leave this apartment, this incredible view, but I'm really excited for what's next for Jackson and I know it sounds absolutely crazy that we are leaving this 3-bedroom apartment to downsize to a studio apartment that is 300 square feet. A lot of you have been commenting and asking why we would do something like that, why we would leave our 3-bedroom apartment to downsize to a studio apartment. And I'm gonna answer all of your questions in the next episode.